I'm not suggesting that you're capable of doing more than you can do, but whatever it is that you can do, if you've given all of yourself to it, you've done your best, where could there be regret? The only advice I would have would be to not listen to anyone and to do what you love and to make things that you love, whatever it is. Make your favorite things. Be the audience. Make the thing for you the audience. It doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. And if you have to get a job to support yourself so that you can make your art, that's fine. You can't make art for someone else. You can't make art with someone else in mind. I don't believe it can be good.
So what does success feel like? Are you grateful? Are you proud of the work you've done in the past? Or is there some engine of constant dissatisfaction, like self-criticism of I could have done better?
No, I'm pleased with the work that we did. Excited to keep working. It's fun. I don't know what else I would do with myself because I like making things. It's fun. I feel like it's my reason to be on the planet.
I'm extremely self-critical, so you don't have that self-criticism, harsh, like this could have been better.
If it could have been better, I would keep working on it. It's like if it could be better, it's not done. Well, it's the best it can be. I've done everything I can to make it the best it can be. And that's all. I can't do more than that. So there's nothing to be critical of. I did my if you always give all of yourself and do your best, which you're capable of doing, I'm not suggesting that you're capable of doing more than you can do. But whatever it is that you can do, if you've given all of yourself to it, you've done your best, where could there be regret? It starts with this, again, coming in blank, like not having any preconceived ideas, being open and really listening and not thinking about what you're going to say next or what your opinion is, basically being a recorder and just hearing what comes in. And then once you hear what comes in, processing that information and trying our best to do that without any of the beliefs that we might have to impact what that is. Mm-hmm. If I ask you a question, I don't want to listen to you and have any reaction happening when you're speaking. I want to be as neutral as possible. For me, my goal is not to form an opinion, it's to understand. So if anything, I would draw you out further and just ask questions to really understand, or if you say something that somehow triggers me in a way that I wouldn't challenge you, I would ask, like, oh, how did you find that? How did you get to that place?
From a place of curiosity, you would try to figure out.
Yeah, I want to understand who the person is. And through questioning, we can usually get there, or through just spending time together, you find out who the person is. It's one of the main jobs, my jobs as a record producer, is to keep the voices away from the artist, from all of the people who are really on their side but don't know. The whether it be people, anyone on the business side who doesn't make things, they're excited to do their part. They're excited when you deliver the thing, the art that you make to me, then we can start the project. But there's nothing to sell if the art doesn't happen in the right way, and it has to be protected, and it can't happen on the same kind of a timetable that business can. It's just a different thing. Art doesn't come in a quarterly way. The other side of it is, in success, there can be a lack of reality where all of the people around the successful person just tell them everything they do is great, and then they don't have anything to bump up against anymore, or have a realistic sense of how things work, or how things measure, So both sides are really important, both avoiding the voices getting in the way, and having a trusted group of, a sangha, a group of people who can say, I don't know if that's as good. And you can still, say, I don't care what you think, that's fine. But it helps to hear it. It helps to have, if someone who you respect tells you something isn't good enough, it's helpful.
When it comes from a place of love, when it comes from a place of wisdom.
100%. And not from a place of fear, not from a place of, oh, this doesn't sound like it's going to do as well as your last thing. That's not the point. The point is, on this quest for greatness, are you living up to your ability? I believe we're vehicles for information that when it's ready to come through, it comes through. And the people who have good antennas pick up the signal. But if I'm sure you've had an experience in your life where you've had an idea for something and you've not acted on it, and eventually someone else does it. And it's not because they're doing it because you had the idea and they stole your idea. It's because the time has come for that idea. And if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it.
It's being broadcast by whatever the source is.
Whatever the source is. I think we all have our own antenna for whatever it is that we, maybe not everyone has tuned into their antenna to see what it is that their strength in bringing through is. I'm lucky in that it found me because I didn't know that I didn't even know this was a job.
A lot of the job also is the expectation. It's like setting up an expectation that we really can make a great Black Sabbath record that stands alongside their best work. I can remember having a conversation with Johnny Cash saying, on our first album, saying, we're going to make the best album you ever made. And he looked at me like I was insane. Like how could you even think that way? He felt like he hadn't made a good record in probably 25 years and had been discarded. At the time that I met him, he was playing at dinner theaters and had been dropped from 2 labels and nobody cared. So the idea of shifting that, reframing the experience to not just, well, let's just do an album, but let's do whatever it takes for it to be the best album you've ever made. What would that sound like? How would that work? How much work would go into it? Are you willing to commit to that?
Yeah.
It's because it's not easy, and some artists don't like it, and I've worked with some artists where it hasn't worked out, where they just are not willing to do the work.